You know, yesterday we talked about showing love and kindness and respect to all, and to show Christ to them through our actions. And recently, God put this message on my heart about reaching the lost and showing love without question. And I believe that He did this because He wanted to show me that God was in the business of restoration. And as I spoke to you about on my the message I brought the other week, I was on my way home from a friend's house, and I bumped into a man on the street who was cleaning up rubbish. And as he was picking the rubbish up, I said to him, "Hey man, what are you doing? This is 11 o'clock at night." And he said, "I'm picking up rubbish because these dogs throw the rubbish on the street and I get in trouble for it." I said, "Well, why would you get in trouble for it?" He said, "Well, I live here." And he pointed out to a veranda of a shopping centre in Gawler where he was staying. And he said, "That's my blanket and my mattress over there." And I thought, "Oh, that's pretty sad actually." But here he is in the street cleaning up because he didn't want to take the blame for something he hadn't done. And so I just thought I'm going to sit and spend some time talking with this guy. So we had a really great chat about this and that. And I asked him if there was anything he needed. And he said to me, "No," he said, "I'm okay. I've got $25 in my pocket and my pension comes tomorrow and I'm set." He said, "I've got some food over there, I've got a great mattress and I've got a great blanket, so I don't need anything." I said, "Oh, okay." So as I was chatting to him, I just thought, I said to him, "If you're around, on Sunday, would it be alright if I took you out for tea? We'll go to the pub down the road there and have tea." And he looked at me like, he said, "Well, what do you want to do that for?" I said, "Sometimes it's just good to do nice things for people." He says, "Okay, if you want to." So I went home, and on Sunday I was coming home from Unique, and it was about 4:30. And as I drove past where this guy was living, he had 5 or 6 of his mates with him, and I thought, he's done me in. This guy, he's got all his mates, and he wants me to take him out for tea. And let's be honest, taking 7 blokes out for tea gets pretty expensive. So I went home and I said to Anna, "This guy's done me and he's tricked me." And anyway, so I said, "I'm not going to do it." And Lockie knew the story, and he was over, and he said, "You taking him out for tea?" And I told him what had happened. Anyway, Lockie went home and drove past where this guy is, and he said, "Oh, Dad," gives me a ring. He says, "Dad, the guy's by himself now." I said, "Okay." So I went over and I went and saw him, and I said to him, "Do you want to go for tea?" And he said, "Oh, I was kind of hoping you weren't coming back." And I thought that was a bit funny. "Why is that?" He said, "Oh, my feet are so sore and I can't really walk to the pub, and I didn't want to seem ungrateful." So I said, "That's okay." So we sat down where we were and we had a meal together and had a bit of a chat, and I got to know his story. When you walk past people in the street, homeless people or people a bit different, I don't know about you, but I tend to think like, why don't you just go and get a job, do anything to change your circumstance, But I talked to this bloke and I said to him, "How did you end up on the street?" He said, "Well, I was 14 years old and my dad died and my mum got a new boyfriend who used to beat me up." And he said he did this for years, and on my 14th birthday, instead of getting me a present, he gave me an absolute flogging, and I thought, I can't stand this anymore and I'm leaving. And he left home at 14. He's now 48 years old. 34 years he's been on the street because he was being bashed by a bloke he didn't even know. So you walk past people and you think, "Oh, get up, do something for yourself." But these guys, they don't have that choice. They didn't have that option, 14 years of age, he's out on the street. And I said to him, "So of all the things that you've lost in your life, of all the things that have been taken away from you, what do you need more than anything?" And he said something that changed me, changed the way I think about things. He said, "I don't want to be judged, and I want to be loved, and I want someone to love me." And I thought, oh, this guy has it. This guy has the answer that every person thinks. There's not one person in this world who wants to be judged, and everybody wants love. And this guy was sitting on a concrete ground and he's teaching me lessons, and here I am judging him. It was an amazing thing, and God says I can do amazing things in his life. It's our job to share the good news so that they might go to heaven. Recently I spoke at Whitmore Square, and I shared my testimony with the homeless people in Whitmore Square and the drug affected and alcohol affected people. And I shared my testimony, and I gave them an opportunity to accept Christ. And I don't say this to be boastful, but a lot of people came forward and gave their life to Jesus. And it was an amazing time, and we prayed about it. After the after the session, I said to the guy who ran, I said, "So what happens now? Do we get them into connect groups, or do we do follow up for discipleship?" And he looked at me with this. He may as well have pat me on the head and said, "There, there," but he looked at me with this loving smile and he said, "These guys are transient. We may never see them again, but today they're saved." And I thought, well, that's great. And I remember thinking to myself, God, what's the point? Here they are getting saved, now what? There's nothing for them. And God said to me, he said, today their name's written in the Lamb's Book of Life. Tomorrow they might be dead. Today they're saved. Be happy with that. And it changed the way I think. You never know who you're sharing with or what will happen to them tomorrow. Be Christ wherever you go. Show love, show kindness and respect to all. When they know God and give their lives to Jesus, instantly they are restored into right standing with the Father, and their destination is in heaven. And that's where we need to be. Show love, show kindness to this world in everything you do. It doesn't have to be the homeless. It doesn't have to be the down and out. It can be regular standard people like you and me. Before we knew Christ, we were exactly the same. We were broken vessels, and God is in the habit of restoring broken vessels. We need to be Christ to this world. We need to show love. So my challenge to you is, wherever you go, take Jesus with you and show love to people and kindness. I'll see you on Sunday.